tell.
Right up.
Well over her.
Yeah. The water is actually rising a lot quicker than we thought. Now, high tide here pretty much comes to the height of the bank that I'm standing on in around about 4 or so hours. At the moment, we're just waiting for the SES to come with the boat. They're going to be possibly another hour, though.
Time is of the essence now, so the fireys start to pump high-pressure water into the mud.
Being stuck is all about suction. So what we have to do now is break that suction, and we're going to break that suction using water hoses.
She's starting to have a bit of trouble holding her head up above water, so we need to get her out soon, otherwise it's not going to be the best of outcomes.
So far she's still doing good. She's quite quiet and calm, so just trying to get her out of here before she goes under.
Fairly big hole right now.
She's up.
The cow's free of the mud now, but she still can't get to safety on her own.
They can get the boat out here quickly. They might be able to get her to swim around or walk along the bank and get out the other side. But it's time, and time's not with her.
The 5 pig hunting dogs have arrived at the RSPCA Centre in Gladstone.
Let's go this way. Come on.
The wolfhound is examined by vet Andrew Ward.
So this dog is in quite a poor body condition. He's probably a condition score of about 2 out of 5, I would say. He's got quite a bad flea infestation as well. You can actually see the fleas crawling over his skin and over his hair as you examine him.
Next, the collie Staffy Cross named Sarah by the staff.
A lot of scabbiness around the back end, so chances are a lot of fleas. Have you guys put any treatments on them?
Not yet. We're waiting to get you to have a look first.
And the dog found without adequate shade or water, now named Jessie, is of particular concern.
So a lot of dirt in the ears, but no sign of infection. What's essentially a healthy dog is in quite poor body condition, has quite a lot of fleas hanging around. You can just tell by if you feel over the ribs, they're quite prominent. The spine is quite prominent as well. So I'd say nutrition hasn't been great in this little dog.
Meanwhile, the owner of the pig hunting dogs returned to his property after 3 days away and was charged with cannabis possession by police. Unable to look after his dogs, he's agreed to surrender at least 3 of them to the RSPCA to make the situation more manageable.
We're just about to go on to the behaviour assessment for the 3 dogs that we've kept. Understanding the background of these dogs, we're a bit fearful about what might occur.
At the shelter, Stella the Dachshund, partly paralysed after a fall, is being assessed by vet Amy Pepper.
It's almost like the messages don't get through when she wants to sort of move, or she has no control over it.
It's pretty good once she gets going. Is she still on steroids?
No.
No. The fact that it happened 5 to 6 months ago doesn't really make her an ideal surgical candidate.
Only surgery immediately after the accident could have fixed Stella's problem. Since then, the wear and tear to her discs has made the damage permanent.
Really, it's about managing her condition now and keeping her as comfortable as possible.
Really, the most manageable situation for the owners, considering their circumstances and finances, is if I can somehow organise a wheelchair for Stella.
A custom-designed wheelchair could be attached to Stella to take the weight off her 2 back legs.
I will certainly do everything within my power and the RSPCA's power to find that option for Stella.
They've got here in the nick of time, so the tide's just getting to that level that we were hoping they'd be here by.
As the SES boat finally arrives, rescuers attach a halter to the cow and use a flotation device to keep her head above water. Then they tie her to the boat so she can be towed to the safe landing about 20 metres down the river.
With those straps, we've got to make sure that no injury occurs. So the further forward and the further rearward, the better. So we've got to make sure they remain in position as much as they can. It is a struggle. We can't take her out any further to swim back because she's out of energy. So we've got to make sure that we just keep working on before this tide comes in. There we go, Alan, real slow.
She's tied. So far, so good. They keep her in the deep water, so her legs are just touching. That puts a lot of pressure off her, but it's just a matter of getting her over there.
And Tony, if you can take your end up there too.
Easy girl, easy girl.
girl.
5 hours after the rescue first began, the cow is finally heading the last few metres to safety. But just when it seems she's nearly out, her legs buckle in the soft mud.